So at this point going forward in Philip K. Johnson's Hulk series, we are finally getting a ton of explanations back to back to back. And I think this is being done to prepare us for Infernal Hulk, which is dropping in November. But going forward in this series, we're going to be talking about the origin of the One Below All, the origin of the Mother of Horrors. We're visiting the Requiem Plane, which is the birthplace of the One Below All. And alongside of us learning the origin of the Mother of Horrors by way of the eldest, we also get the origin of the Green Flame, which ultimately and finally ties everything we've been seeing as far as the origin of Gamma and its connection to the One Above All to the age-old story of the Elder Gods. So with that said, let's get into it. And I know it's a lot, but over the course of these next couple issues, it'll make more sense. But with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so going into this, we pick up with the Hulk, who's just chilling underwater. And just to point out a few things here, for one, at this point in the story, Hulk is fully in control, with Banner locked away in the Hulkscape. The second thing to know is for the time being, Hulk is alone, since Charlie had ran off back in issue 26. And for the third, just as a quick reminder, we also know that the Hulk is capable of breathing underwater, as well as how his body adjusts to breathe in the fluids, back when Banner explained the whole process during Tempest Fugit, written by the late great Peter David. And this is something I went more into depth on in the 2.5-hour Maestro origin video, and I have the link for that in the description for anyone who needs to check it out. But during this seemingly very peaceful time when we find the Hulk underwater, he ends up dozing off, only to wake up much later on at a different location, not too close to the beach, where he finds a message written to him in the dirt by Bruce, with it saying, "Protect Dr. Voodoo." And so Hulk just sees this and he's like, "Leave me alone, Banner. Only danger is you." And now something to keep in mind here is that throughout this whole series, this story's very much been a continuation of Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk, as well as Donny Cates' Starship Hulk series, which was concluded by Ryan Ottley, who wrote and illustrated the last few issues. But from the start of this, with the eldest returning and claiming this as her opportunity to bring back the Mother of Horrors, with the green door being shut, we soon after learned that the Hulk was the key to making that happen. And on top of that, from the start of this series, we've had the Hulk telling Banner how enough is enough and how he'll take over by locking Banner away indefinitely, which makes sense after the extremes of the Starship Hulk situation. But this will become an ongoing process, with the Hulk taking control more often and for longer periods of time. And like we saw while this was going on, after the eldest was released, she called out to the different monsters around the world for them to hunt down the Hulk and bring him to her, so she can use the Hulk to bring back the Mother of Horrors. And now one of these creatures was a fallen angel who went by the name of the Frozen Charlotte, who had ended up killing this girl by the name of Charlie Tidwell and placing her soul in a doll. And I mean, you might have noticed I'm skipping over a lot of stuff here, mainly to highlight the points of interest that are coming back right now, but I still understand how it could seem like a lot for someone just jumping in, so don't worry, I got a link in the description for the full playlist, because we've been covering this series in its entirety. But long story short, at this point in the series, Hulk and Banner took Charlie's doll over to Dr. Voodoo at Strange Academy to get his help, which at the time started with the Hulk smashing through the school, which is why Dr. Voodoo chained Banner up. But this led to Dr. Voodoo not only helping them by sending them to see the Flesh Weaver, but we also find out in the moment here that Dr. Voodoo had done something more. So basically, just think of this as a case of whoever helps the Hulk is an enemy of the eldest. So it would be in Hulk's best interest to get back to Dr. Voodoo and make sure that he's good. But as Hulk continues to go on his own way, we get this moment here where the Hulk sees this guy who's frozen to death on the way up this mountain, and it almost looks like it puts a smirk on the Hulk's face, which is crazy. But along the way, this glowing object appears on his chest, and it makes a cracking sound. And it's here where the eldest says, "At last, the seal weakens, fractured son. Soon your flesh will be mine." Because much like what we've seen before, the eldest is constantly watching the Hulk. And without warning, Hulk is blasted off the mountain, only to soon after arrive in New Orleans, which is precisely where he needed to be anyway. And when he gets here, of course everyone has their phones out because the Hulk just touched down. But just after he gets here, he's met by Inspector Francis, who's the ghost detective we first saw back in issues 9 and 10 when the Hulk was going up against the Frozen Charlotte. And now when the Hulk gets here, the inspector's like, "Well, hello again." And he lets the Hulk know that there's been quite the disturbance in the French Quarter, so he's glad that the Hulk came to help. And after that, he goes on to give the Hulk a badge while telling him, "There, it's official. You're a Pinkerton man. Not a villain alive bold enough to cross you now." But it's one of those things where Hulk just goes with it, and he heads over to Strange Academy with Inspector Francis, who's already investigating a disturbance. And with Inspector Francis, like we learned before, this guy's been dead for quite some time. So as they go inside, he talks about the history of this place, and he tells Hulk here this is the poor old Wiltshire house, constructed for Admiral Thomas Wiltshire from 1872 to 1874, sat derelict from 1966 till coming into the ownership of Dr. Stephen Strange, MD. becoming Strange Academy under the stewardship of Mr. Jericho Drum, answering to the curious name of Dr. Voodoo. And do know, even if the Hulk wasn't here, this guy would have been talking to himself anyway. And now as they check out the place and head deeper inside, they find that there are spiderwebs everywhere. And the inspector tries to call out for Mr. Drum, but he gets no answer. And as they continue to look around, the inspector notices these bodies that have been constructed or reconstructed using bone, iron, and adipose cere, with the latter usually being referred to as grave wax. And the inspector goes on to say, books on the subject suggest rendered fat from corpse tissue can become quite rigid, durable, though never heard of its use in such a fashion as this. And while they're checking out one of these bodies, just behind them, another one of them starts moving, just before it attacks the Hulk. And now it almost seems like a lot of what they've found here has been repurposed with the intention of either going after the Hulk or another gamma mutate, which is what the eldest started to do after she realized that she couldn't just take the Hulk. But while the Hulk is fighting this thing, there's a moment where he rips out a piece of this thing's guts, and it's pretty nasty. But then it tells Hulk, "You dare return here? Very well, you can die here." But the next time this thing throws a punch, Hulk just catches its forearm, crushes it, gives it a headbutt, only to then follow with a punch that literally ends this fight. And now mind you, the whole time during this fight, Inspector Francis had been trying to talk to this creature and say things like, "Halt, put your hands up." And now that it's literally melting in front of them, the inspector's trying to tell it that it's under arrest. And it's like, "Nah, buddy, give it a rest." But this ends up turning into a pretty crazy reveal, because as this thing is breaking down, it goes on to say to the Hulk here, "Eldest knew you would come. When last you came here, you sought the aid of Dr. Voodoo. You will find no such favor this time, for you face the greater of the brothers Drum tonight." Because to their surprise, this is Daniel Drum, Jericho's deceased twin brother, who had been practicing mysticism long before Jericho. And now when he shows up here, Detective Francis tries to ask him some questions about the disturbance, only to have Daniel Drum quickly disarm him and dismiss him, which immediately has Hulk like, "Dude, he came here to help you," only for Brother Drum to tell Hulk, "As my brother helped you? Did you even wonder why Eldest failed to possess you in the Temple of Lycana? My brother placed a protection charm upon your human vessel, Banner. Eldest learned this and came for my brother. I will not make the same mistake Jericho made. I've cast my lot with Eldest and all her kind." So yeah, I gotta say, I was not expecting Jericho's brother to be here, for one thing, but also this protection charm that he's talking about that Jericho slipped on to Banner's body. We now know for a fact this is what kept the Eldest from taking the Hulk, even after Bruce handed the Hulk over. But fast forward to now, this seal is becoming weaker and weaker. So in spite of the Eldest settling for other gamma mutates and just taking them at random, she knows ultimately they won't be enough. So it has to be the Hulk. And now things are starting to play more into her favor, since Dr. Voodoo's protection charm is wearing off. Or better yet, over the course of time, the Eldest has managed to effectively break it down. And now this is where things go to a whole nother level, because right after Daniel Drum tells the Hulk that he's chosen a side with the Eldest, he hands the Hulk over. And that's where this huge spider shows up and it pulls the Hulk through to the Requiem plane. And now from here going forward, to the end of this issue and even over into the next, out of all the Hulk issues that we've covered, this has to be one of the craziest, because it's here where the Eldest ties together the insane history that we've learned about the one below all and the below place, as well as the one above all, and how it all connects to the Elder Gods, which until now has always seemed like a broken story, because any other time when we talk about the Demiurge, Gia, Atum, or Chthon, we've never been able to properly have the one below all in that conversation. At least not until now, because shortly after the Hulk arrives in the Requiem plane, he sees Betty and he asks her, "Where is this?" And that's where she tells him it's where we come from, the place where the one below all emerged, where the mother of horrors was broken, where Gamma was born. And now as she's saying this, the protection seal from Dr. Voodoo, it's growing weaker. But around this time, we're also given more context from the Eldest that I'ma just throw in here, with her saying, "I've drawn the fractured sun to the cavern of the Requiem plane. His time draws near. Strange to see him in this hollow place, shuffling amidst the broken bones of my brothers and sisters who died here, slaughtered by the one who made him. But as the one below all was created here, so will his son die here. The one above all created the earth, and with it the Demiurge primordial, the force that seeded the earth with life. From the Demiurge came the Elder Gods, and though their father gods spared the earth not a thought, the Demiurge and Elder Gods shaped the earth according to his design, save for a lone drop of shadow that sprang into being, not of the one above all, but of itself. This living globe took the name Venruvial, which means unbidden. As the earth evolved, so evolved life upon it, some in ways that were not intended. As the Elder Gods slept, dark Venruvio planted seeds of shadow within their flesh, and in time they became creatures of fearsome form and savage appetite. Good Chthon was tormented with murderous and cannibalistic urges. Graceful Set became a twisted horror of fanged mouths and writhing, limbless flesh. Many of the first gods became the first demons, with no understanding of what had been done to them. The devolution of Earth drew the eye of the One Above All, and his ire. Through his servant, the Demiurge, and the elder god Gia, he created a God-Eater to cull the earth of his children and begin anew. Venruvia watched the One's cruel purge from her earthen womb and was glad of it. Eons passed and Venruvia grew bolder. As new gods and demigods rose to replace the culled, she created life of her own, some more powerful than those born of the One Above All, some brighter than he himself. The One looked down from his exalted seat, and, seeing again creations that were not his own, he descended upon the corruption with a rage he had never known, setting the earth back upon his path, through blood and flame. Still, he could not find the cause of this corruption, and so Venruvio grew stronger, cleverer, and ever bolder. Time lingered on, new worlds were born and died, and the earth strayed further and further from the natural order. Guided by the unseen hand of dark Venruvio, it became ever more divergent and brutal, its children ever fiercer, until the One Above All would abide it no longer. From the light that was his own flesh, he crafted a flaming spear with the power of 1,000 exploding suns, and descended upon the earth. With a single whispered word, he rent the earth asunder, laying bare its deepest caverns and darkest secrets. What he found rekindled his rage, and taught him fear as well. Beneath the surface, the planet had become a living corpse, teeming with all manner of terrifying, blasphemous life. Corruption now wove through the very bones of the earth, turning all the world to monsters, and they knew this celestial as their enemy. In chorus, they made a terrible shriek of loathing and admonishment, saying, "This place is ours. You abandoned it in the dark. Our mother claimed it, and now you have no place here." The One Above All looked upon these abominations who had claimed dominion over the earth, and saw something in the darkness below, something watching him, driving these creatures against him. With his burning spear, he cast the monsters aside, and saw at last the force that defied him since time began. A creature both aberrant and beautiful, angelic and loathsome. The corrupter, Venruvio, now the mother of horrors. As the One Above All raised his spear to kill her, she lashed out and pierced his golden flesh, planting within him a single seed of corruption, and from the wound erupted a flame of emerald green. So yeah, with the Hulk now traveling to the Requiem plane, this is setting us up to get a whole lot of backstory and explanations, because we've been waiting for this clarity for quite some time. But again, when he gets here, he sees Betty, and she tells him this is the place where the One Below All emerged and where the Mother of Horrors was broken. This is where Gamma was born. And she goes on to tell him that the eldest is breaking down the defenses that Dr. Voodoo gave him. So Hulk has to save Dr. Voodoo. And of course, Hulk doesn't trust Betty here, because from the start of this series, she's been working with the eldest. Or at least that's how it's been portrayed so far. So he just tells her, "Shut up. Eldest probably sent you here. Why would I trust you?" And that's what she tells him, because the only way for you to save Dr. Voodoo, me, or yourself is by killing her. But when Hulk hears this sound traveling throughout the Requiem plane, he asks Betty, "What's that stupid noise?" So she tells him, "I'll show you. Follow me, Hulk, and I'll tell you everything." So yeah, this one kind of leaves us with a cliffhanger for now. But even still, from this issue going forward, it seems like Philip K. Johnson is looking to reestablish a lot of the Hulk mythos before Infernal Hulk drops in November. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and let me know which part of the origin of the Mother of Horrors kind of caught you off guard. Because for me, just to know that she had been there from the beginning and that she was the one who corrupted Set and Chthon, on one hand it has me like, oh, so that's why we haven't heard of her for so long. But on the other hand, it has me wondering if she's going to be used as a means to an end, or is her character actually going to stick around? And I mean, I guess we'll find out when we come back and learn more about her. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.